Interstate 74-ish. Alright, you know that I love interstate highways more than anybody else, but this Interstate 74 in North Carolina, this is a joke of a road. This should not exist as I-74. It should be a different number or something. It's a mess. So I-74 currently exists in 3 roughly discontiguous areas, and we'll be talking about all of them. And the plan is for it to go from Cincinnati to connect to the real I-74 and go all the way to, we don't know. The plan was to have it go to Myrtle Beach like I-73. For some reason, build 2 roads that are concurrent for long distances and then have them end in the same place. Or maybe Wilmington? Don't know. They have no idea. So everything I've read, they really don't know where it's going to go. You're watching Control City Freak. This is the YouTube channel where we talk about interstate highways and the places that they are signed to go to. Thank you so much for watching. If you like this kind of content, please give us a like. And if you really dig it, why not subscribe? Appreciate hearing from all of you. Thanks so much. We're going to talk about eastbound I-74. Here we are in Virginia. We're on I-77. It's signed just south 77. In theory, according to AASHTO, it is also I-74 here, but Virginia is not playing these games, so they don't sign it that way. Here it's I-77. As you can see, this is a half a mile until the North Carolina border. Welcome to North Carolina. And all of a sudden we are on 74 and 77. No explanation given. 74 just spawns like a random enemy in Contra. And we split off of I-77. I-77 signed south for Statesville because North Carolina can't sign it for Charlotte. That'd be against the law. And 74 signed for Mount Airy and Winston-Salem, which isn't too bad, but Winston-Salem by itself could probably do the job. This iteration of I-74 doesn't go very long. We end at US 52. The southbound section of US 52 for Winston-Salem, I believe, will eventually be I-74. And we get a nice end I-74 sign. I didn't see too many of these, but we do have one here. In the Winston-Salem area, we can see that they are building the loop from US 52 on down. Part of it is already built and it is listed as State Highway 74. The rest of it we can see is very much on the way, so that'll probably be open before too long, the North Winston-Salem loop. Here on US 52 we're meeting I-40. I-40 signed east for Greensboro and west for Statesville, but there's no mention of I-74 whatsoever, even though 40 meets 74 just a little bit down. And currently, until that loop opens, this is kind of the route that I-74 traffic would be taking, so weird that there's no mention. On I-40 we do have this exit, East 74 High Point. I am okay with High Point here. I think that's an alright choice for eastbound and only for eastbound. This part actually won't be I-74 for long because, again, they're building that loop. So I-74's route will change through town. We see at an interchange, you get High Point and Winston-Salem as the 2 choices. And now we're on East 74 Asheboro. Again, Asheboro is not a very large city, and I'd never heard of it before I made the 73 and 74 videos. Just feels like amalgamation of places. Like, okay, well, we've got Asheville and we've got Greensboro. We need a new city. What should we call it? I know, Greenville. They already got that in South Carolina. Okay, Asheboro. No offense to the great people of Asheboro. I'm sure it's a fine town, but not Control City worthy in the way that North Carolina signs it. 85 for Greensboro and Charlotte, and 74 for Asheboro. I'm looking forward to doing I-85. I feel like it's going to be like I-65 in Alabama or I-10 in Mississippi. Like it's going to be the only interstate in the state that actually has good control cities. Here we go with Asheboro and Rockingham. This is coming close to our concurrency with I-73. Yes, here we meet I-73, North 73 for Greensboro, and South 73 and East 74, Asheboro, Rockingham. We saw this on I-73, the intersection with Business 64 in Asheboro. So now we're signed for Rockingham, and at exits we get Rockingham and Asheboro as our choices. no reason to put Greensboro on there. Nobody's ever heard of that. And we are now beyond where 73 and 74 officially are, so we are on 220. Here's another super annoying thing about I-74. A big part of it's going to be concurrent with US 74. Apparently this happened even before the US 41 thing, so I-69, I-41, they're kind of annoying with their US highway concurrencies, but I-74, the least deserving interstate, yes I know about I-99, is the one that started it. So we're following kind of 74. Google Maps says this is I-74, but the signs here are still saying US 74. I did see this sign as I-74 on one frame, but then I couldn't find it again to take its picture. But this is in fact I-74 Lumberton. I believe this is I-74 now too, but anyway, US 74 will be the same road. We get a sign for Myrtle Beach. I'm assuming because I-74 was planned to go to Myrtle Beach, Lumberton, Myrtle Beach. Although US 74 does not go there, and I-74 probably never will either. And now we're getting Wilmington, the other possible choice for the end of I-74. So kind of all over the place here. And we see up ahead there is an I-74 shield at this interchange. Wilmington seems to be on the bottom line here as well. At the intersection with I-95, 74 east is signed for Whiteville and Wilmington. So again, Wilmington remains there. That could just be US 74, but you'd think they'd make mention of Myrtle Beach if that was still the plan. This might be the last exit that's on what could be considered I-74 for Lumberton and Fairmount. So now we will go to westbound I-74. So right at that same exit, we have a choice of Wilmington and Rockingham. So that would be consistent with what we've seen for I-74 and its signage. Rockingham, I don't feel like it's the best choice. I think actually the best way to go here would be Charlotte, because that's the general direction it's going, and US 74 does go there. And you know, Charlotte's Charlotte. We meet I-95 and we are assigned for West 74, Laurinburg, Rockingham. So again, quite small cities. Charlotte is on the mileage sign here though, as the bottom line. So like I say, I do think Charlotte should be the actual real control city here. Here we're getting a stoplight with West 74, so we are out of the I-74 area at this point. And now we're back to 74 Rockingham, Business 74 for Hamlet. This is where I-74 will leave US 74 and it will join US 1, which will eventually be US 220, and head toward Rockingham. So here we are now on North 220, and shortly thereafter that becomes North 73, West 74, and North 220. Just as on I-73, because they're the same road here, Rockingham and Asheboro are the signs at an interchange. Asheboro 40, Greensboro 65, so Greensboro on the bottom line here, where it belongs. And here with the US 64 intersection, we see it is Greensboro up there. Here's Business 64 and still 73, 74 Greensboro. And once again, we see the 73, 74 split and 73 for Greensboro, 74 for High Point and Winston-Salem. I feel like going westbound, we don't need High Point so much. Winston-Salem does the job just fine on its own. High Point 12, Winston-Salem 35. And we see at one interchange that 74 is for Asheboro and for Winston-Salem. So before meeting 73, it's still Asheboro. They sign that city a lot. I don't know. And we meet I-40, Winston-Salem, Statesville, and East Greensboro. I feel like Winston-Salem is just fine on its own once again. We don't need Statesville. And we're about to run out of road here. We get South 285, South 52, Lexington, and North Mount Airy. So we'll skip ahead along US 52 outside of Winston-Salem, and we get to where 52 and 74 is going to be spawned from 52 once again, and it is 74 277 Wytheville. And along this road, Winston-Salem and Wytheville, 74 west, 77 north, Wytheville. I feel like that should just be Charleston, I'm not gonna lie. We don't go through that much of Virginia on I-77, so we don't necessarily have to have a Virginia city. And since 74 and 77 are concurrent until Virginia, I don't know. Or here's a crazy idea, we could just end I-74 at I-77, since Virginia's not going to do anything with it, and West Virginia's not going to do anything with it. And in West Virginia, they plan on having the same route as 73 anyway. Here on 77, 74, we get Wytheville 48, And welcome to Virginia. Once in Virginia, we get only North 77. There's no 74 end sign. There's no mention of I-74 ending at the state line when you're in North Carolina. It just disappears into the ether, like when you beat a random bad guy in Contra. Alright, so let's look at this insane route for 73 once again. For 73 and 74 both plan to go to Myrtle Beach, even though they have the long concurrency. And then they split up, and then they're supposed to be concurrent again along US 52 in West Virginia and through southern Ohio, where 74 will go do its job in Cincinnati, 73 will go on up, and then have a concurrency with 75 to split, then have another one. Taking a look at North Carolina, we see 74, the theoretical plan that it's going to go south of Wilmington, but we don't see it actually get to the state line there. We don't know where it actually goes, just like they don't know where it actually goes. So 74, you want to know Todd's the way it should be for I-74? Here it is. Eastbound, Peoria, Champaign, Indianapolis, Cincinnati. Westbound, Indianapolis, Peoria, Davenport, Des Moines. That's the way it should be for I-74. Period. That's it. There's no reason for any other I-74. The North Carolina road, most of that is concurrent with I-73, and the other parts could be 3-digit interstates, or, you can number it something that fits the grid or something. But if you want to talk about this I-74, I'll say eastbound, Winston-Salem, High Point, and then Wilmington? Who knows? And westbound, Charlotte until the change to 220 and US 1. Then Greensboro, Winston-Salem, and Charleston, if we're going to play North Carolina's game and pretend it's going to exist. Not going to talk about it in West Virginia or Ohio because it's not going to happen. Alright. Thank you so much for watching this episode of Control City Freak. Got much greener pastures ahead. I-75 is going to be a lot more fun than playing games here with weird, made-up North Carolina vanity projects. It's going to be awesome. I-75, one of the best. Thank you so much for watching this episode of Control City Freak. My name is Todd, and keep on trucking.